Right now, at this very moment, you are living in the past. Not as a metaphor, not as a figure of speech, literally. Everything you are experiencing right now, these words, the screen in front of you, the sounds around you, all of it already happened a moment ago. You are never, ever experiencing the present. You can't. And here's the part that should unsettle you. I can prove it to you, right now, using nothing but your own body. So do this with me. Take one hand and touch the skin on your other arm. You felt that the moment it happened, right? Touch and sensation, same instant, no gap. That's how it feels. But that's not what happened. The moment your finger pressed your skin and the moment your brain felt it were not the same moment. There was a delay. Tiny, far too small to notice, but real. By the time you felt that touch, it had already happened. You were remembering it. In this video, I'm going to show you something strange about your own body, that you never experience anything in real time. Not touch, not what you see, not what you hear. Everything reaches you late, pulled out of the past. And we'll prove it together with a simple thought experiment using your own body. Stay to the end, because where this lands is far stranger than where it starts. Let's kill one illusion first. Most of us assume that feeling happens instantly. It makes sense. You touch something hot, you pull away instantly. Something pricks your foot, it hurts instantly. As if there's no distance between your body and your brain. As if the signal travels at the speed of light. But nerve signals don't travel at the speed of light. They don't come close. Think about it. Light travels around 300,000 kilometers per second. Your nervous system, even in its fastest fibers, travels at roughly 100 meters per second. That's millions of times slower than light. The signal from your finger to your brain isn't like current flashing through a wire. It's more like a message being physically carried down a road. And like any journey, it takes time. So here's the first key idea. Between something happening in your body and your brain noticing it, there is always a road, and a length of time it takes to travel that road. There is no instant. There is only very fast. But very fast doesn't mean unimportant. Because if we take that tiny delay and stretch it out, something genuinely disturbing appears. So let's stretch that tiny delay. Let's run an experiment in your imagination. Imagine your neck were 10 meters long enough to embarrass a giraffe. Your brain is way up at the top. Your feet are 10 meters below. Now, a needle pricks your foot. What happens? Your instinct says, I'd feel it instantly. But we now know the signal has to travel 10 meters up to your brain. And here's where it gets interesting, because your body doesn't have just one kind of nerve. It has different fibers running at different speeds. This matters because the whole surprise is hidden right here. Think of two kinds of messengers in your body. First, the fast messengers. They carry touch, pressure, the sharp first stab of pain. They're like thick, insulated cables, and they're quick. The fibers carrying sharp pain can travel tens of meters per second. Second, the slow messengers. They carry the dull, spreading, comes later pain. They're thin, uninsulated fibers, and they're slow, around 1 to 2 meters per second. Now, let's do the math on our 10-meter neck. The fast fiber carrying sharp pain. Let's say it moves at 20 meters per second. It covers 10 meters in about half a second. So about half a second after the needle, you feel the sharp pain. But the slow fiber carrying dull pain moves at only about 1 meter per second. To cover 10 meters takes it roughly 10 seconds. Stop and picture that. If your neck were 10 meters long, a needle in your foot would mean, first, after about half a second, a sharp pain. Then, a long, strange wait. And only 10 seconds later would the dull, spreading ache finally arrive at your brain. One single needle. felt at two separate times, as two separate pains. It gets stranger. Your eyes would report back far faster than your foot. You'd see the needle long before you felt it. So with your 10-meter neck, you'd watch the needle go into your foot, feel nothing for seconds, and then the pain would come. Different parts of your body, living in different moments. So here's the real question. Does this only happen in some imaginary giant neck? Or is it happening right now in your normal body? The answer? It's happening in your body right now. Exactly this. You don't need a giant neck. The distance between your foot and your brain isn't 10 meters, maybe 1.5 meters, but that distance is still there, and those signals still travel at those same different speeds. So when something touches your foot, it reaches your brain later than something touching your hand. Sharp pain and dull pain arrive at different moments in you too. It's just that the distance is short, so the gap is too small to notice. So why don't you notice? Why does your body give you this smooth, seamless sense that everything is happening at once? Here's where your brain plays a little trick on you. Your brain doesn't hand you these different speed signals raw. If it did, the world would be chaos. Your hand living in one moment, your foot in another. Instead, your brain holds the signals for a beat, lines them up, and packages them into a single, unified now. It synchronizes them for you, waiting for the late ones, organizing them, then saying, "Here you go, this is the present." Think of it like a film where the picture and the sound arrive separately, at different speeds. If your brain didn't hold and sync them, lips would move and the voice would come seconds later. Your brain prevents exactly that. It delays everything just enough to line it all up, so it can hand you a seamless reality. But that smoothness has a price. That now is not reality itself. It's a now that your brain constructed for you, a little late and polished, so your body isn't lying to you, but it's delaying reality, organizing it, smoothing it, and then handing it over. And you take that polished recording and call it the present. But touch is only the beginning. Because this delay doesn't just happen when something touches your skin. It happens in everything you see and everything you hear. Look at your other senses because they're playing the same game. Sight. When you look at something, the light from it has to reach your eye. Then the cells in your eye convert that light into electrical signals. That takes time. Then the signal travels to your brain, and your brain processes it into an image. That whole chain isn't instant. So what you see isn't the object as it is now. It's the object as your brain finished processing it a moment ago. Sound is even slower. Light is fast, but sound moves through air at only about 340 meters per second. Watch someone clap their hands from far away. You see the hands meet, but you hear it a moment later. Same event, reaching you at two different times. Ever notice the gap between lightning and thunder? That's this delay made visible. Now think about it. Your brain is collecting the picture, the sound, the touch, the smell, all arriving at different speeds, all at different times. And it holds them, aligns them, and serves them to you as one smooth moment. That takes time too. According to experiments between something happening and you consciously noticing it, a small but real fraction of a second passes, usually far too short to catch, but never zero. So add it all up. The journey of the light, your eye processing it, the signal traveling to your brain syncing everything and turning it into conscious awareness. At the end of that whole chain, what reaches you is not reality itself. It's a recording of reality, slightly delayed, edited by your brain. And that brings us to the strange place I promised you at the start. So the now you live in is never actually now. You don't experience anything in real time. You can't, because every one of your senses needs time to bring reality to you, and your brain spends extra time processing it. The result? What you call the present is always, unavoidably, a small recording of the past. Right now, you're watching this video. You see the screen, you hear the voice, but the light took time to reach your eye and be processed. The sound arrived even a little later than the picture. Your brain synced them and handed them to you. So even this experience that feels live is already a fraction of a second in the past. You think you're hearing these words now, but that now is already gone. And it's not just you. When you look at another person's face, you don't see them as they are now. You see them as they were the instant the light left their face and reached your eye. Even when you look into the eyes of someone you love, you're seeing a version of them from a moment ago. You can never see anyone or anything truly in the present. Everyone, everything reaches you from a little bit in the past. In a way, every one of us is living just behind reality, inside our own heads. You, me. The now we think we share. It's a slightly delayed image, constructed separately inside each of our brains. So, let's go back to that simple touch from the beginning. When you touched the skin on your arm, you said, "I feel it now." But you know better now. By the time you felt it, it had already happened. The signal traveled. Your brain processed it, synced it, and only then told you, "There, you touched it." You took a memory and called it the present. Maybe you've never once experienced now. Maybe you never can. Your consciousness is a shadow walking a few steps behind reality, a shadow that thinks it's walking in front. But don't take that as a loss, because there's one more twist. Without this tiny delay, there would be no unified you at all. If your brain didn't hold and merge all those scattered, different speed signals, there'd be no coherent world and no coherent self. So the delay isn't a flaw. It's the price your consciousness pays to hand you a seamless reality. Yes, you live in the past, but that's exactly why you live as a whole instead of falling apart. So the next time you touch something, or look up at the sky, or into the face of someone you love, remember, nothing you see, hear, or feel is now. It's all more or less the past. You live a few steps behind reality, in its echo. And maybe that's the most beautiful part. The only thing that turns that echo into a whole, into a life, into a feeling of now, is your own brain. Had you ever thought about it this way? Tell me in the comments. I read them. This is Entropy and Eternity, where we take the things we comfortably believe and actually look inside them. If this made you see your own body, your own now a little differently, consider subscribing. Every week we open up another one of these questions. Until next time, keep looking up. And don't forget that every moment you call now is really a small piece of the past.